I always thought that Jimmy was walking with me as I wrote the book. I didn't tell you this story, Doc, but as I was writing the book, Reverend Barber, he said, I talked to Reverend Barber, and he was, that's why y'all need to buy the book, not to buy the book, but in order to get some money to the Poor People's Campaign. But Reverend Barber said, you need to write this book, Brother Eddie. You need to write it. We need this book. We need you, right? And then all of a sudden, a few weeks later, I get this package in the mail. And Reverend Barber sent me a candle.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Jimmy. And, and then there were these moments, it's like when Fern Margie Ekman, who wrote the first biography of Jimmy in 1966, wrote The Furious Passage. And there are all of these amazing quotes in that biography. And I remember saying, boy, I wish I could find the archive of these quotations. And Imani Perry, who's my writing partner, was like, well, why don't you call? I said, Fern Margie Ekman has to be like 100 years old. And she said, and of course, given what Dr. Perry is, she sent me all of these telephone numbers via email. So I called the first number. Lo and behold, Fern Margie Ekman is alive. I go to the apartment in New York and I meet her niece, and the niece says the tapes are lost, but I got the transcripts. And I'm reading, and it wasn't like 5 to 10 pages, it's 100 pages of transcription of the interviews. So Baldwin's description of witness that isn't in Furious Passage, I found in that space. Jimmy sent me to it, right? Or the moment when I wanted to visit his grave at the end with Carol Weinstein.
Yeah.
And Carol Weinstein, who's the partner of David Baldwin, they have a beautiful son together, Daniel Baldwin. Carol drives me to the graveyard, the grave site, and we think we're gonna find him, and we're walking all around, and these brothers, they're young brothers, right, millennials, Gen Zers, and they smoking woos, they getting zooted. I'm dating myself. They getting high, right? And roll down the window, Doc, and the weed, it was loud. The weed just came in strong. And we asked him, I write about this at the end of the book. We said, yo, do you know where James Baldwin's grave is? Brother turns around and he says, no, we don't know, but he might be buried near Malcolm, and Malcolm is over there. And Carol says, nah, he's not buried near Malcolm. So then we would return. I find Jimmy, and he's right behind the young folk. In plain sight, bruh. Waiting for us.
Wow.
Waiting for us. And that's the conclusion I draw. He's been waiting to see what this history will do for us, and he still waits.
Thank you.
Digging in the wreckage.
The ruins.
Digging in the wreckage. I mean, the third American founding that you talk about in the last pages of the text, very similar in some ways to what Brother Barber talks about in Third Reconstruction.
Exactly.
To begin anew means a massive, radical, democratic awakening. Keep track of all of the various forms of domination and various forms of evil in the American empire. Brother, this is a text that is timely and will be timeless in terms of folk who will be reading it many, many years after the worms have our bodies. I could tell you that.
To order Begin Again and other books by Dr. Glaude and Cornel West from Labyrinth, please visit labyrinthbooks.com and enter the discount code Baldwin at checkout to receive a free shipment of your order. Labyrinth will be donating 10% of sales generated by this event to the Poor People's Campaign. So buy those books, please, and let's support that work.